everyone, it's Danny. Welcome back to another layout for the COAPA Cutfiles design team. Today I'm going to be using this beautiful cut file. It is called Sail Away. I will leave a link in the description box below so you can find this cut file in the shop easily. And I am using the Never Grow Up collection by Chamel. I've just recently picked this up and I have a video coming showing what I picked up from this collection, but I essentially put together enough of a collection kit to create 6 to 7 layouts is my goal. So I have gone through and picked out some photos that I would like to document, and my goal is to get 6 to 7 layouts done using this collection or the stuff I picked up from this collection. And this is going to be the first of those. So I've chosen this cut file because I have some photos of my kids at a playground taken, I think it was in January of this year. And the photo I want to document today is my daughter sitting in one of the little it's like a rowboat in the playground. So what I've gone ahead and done is use the 6x8 paper pad to back that cut file, the boat section, and I actually pulled in a piece of wood grain from my stash to help back that cut file. And now I'm going through and taking just plain vellum and I'm tearing the edges because I want to create kind of like an ocean section. So by the time I'm done with this, I add enough layers that you can still just about see the stars through the vellum, which I'm fine with. I really just kind of wanted to blur out that really busy background that I have going on. And what I'm doing is just putting a spot of glue at the top there of those layers because I am going to cover that up with my cut file so it won't be seen. And on these pieces near the bottom, I'm just going to use my tiny attacher to staple those layers together. And I will come in and hide those staples strategically with some stickers. So that is all done now. I went ahead and trimmed off all the excess off camera, and you can see that just blurs out that background and adds some extra texture. And I really love how vellum looks on a scrapbook layout. So I've gone ahead and glued down, well, adhered down my cut file, and I'm going to keep, basically what I've done is just kept the inside pieces of the sails. I wanted to keep the sails white just to really emphasize that they are sails. But if they were just plain white, you wouldn't really be able to tell that it was part of the cut file. So what I'm doing is just adding some adhesive foam in those spaces underneath, and I'm just going to pop those white sail pieces up on this foam. So the outline of the cut file is directly on the paper, and the negative part, the inside part, is popped up on foam to create that shadow and dimension. And yeah, this was kind of I didn't know how this was going to turn out. It was kind of a whim, just an experiment really, but I really quite like it. I like how it looks once I'm done. So there we go. I'm just carefully lining those up. It is kind of hard to tell with the lighting that I have that you can see the extra or the separate sail pieces, but you can in real life, I promise. So I'm just going to back my photo here, map my photo on a thin layer of that pink. Just wanted something that would really stand out against that pale blue. And you can see that photo there of her sitting inside that boat. And the nice thing about this photo is the boat is very bright yellow and she is wearing that very bright red top, so my photo is certainly not going to get lost in amongst all the busyness happening in this layout. I also did tuck it underneath the sail slightly and just behind the top of the boat. I'm going to go ahead and use this search word. I wasn't planning on using orange on this layout, but I did quite like how it looked, and really it fit perfectly with the rest of my title, which is going to be For Adventure. So I do bring in some other pops of orange to tie that in, and in the end I really love how the orange looks against the navy. So I'm just going to put that tiny word, adventure. Well, I say tiny, it's not really tiny. It's probably too big to call a tiny word, but that little word banner. And then I'm going to use these red little tile alphas from my stash just to fill out that full title there. And that makes a nice diagonal of red across my page too, with the flag and my daughter's shirt. So that is my title. And I'm just going to trim off the branding strip really quickly. And now I'm going to have a look at adding some pieces to cover up those staples. So there are, I think, 4 fish stickers on the sticker sheet in this collection, and I use all of them. They are silver foiled, which is really pretty. I really like that. But I really wanted to get all these used up because I know I'm not going to use fish on any other layout. I don't go fishing or anything, so this is it really. I'm going to get them used up. I did want to add a couple more though, so I've gone through and found the fish pattern out of the paper pad, and I'm just going to go through and fussy cut just 2 of these little fish. I did think about doing more, but in the end I decided to go against my instincts to add more and more and more. There is a lot going on this layout. I have that busy pattern paper background, and I just didn't want to overwhelm everything too much. So I am just in a second going to go through and swap out that orange fish with that blue fish, just swap them around just to kind of get a bit of balance. That's the only fish that is that bright orange, so I'm just trying to make it a little bit more central. So once I've done that, I'm going to go in and just pop down a bit of glue behind my little paper fish, and then I've pulled out a bunch of enamel dots, and I'm just going to add a bunch of these around in that kind of aqua color and then that lighter mint green. And these are I was imagining they would look like bubbles, and I think they do. I'm really pleased with how this looks. Let me know what you think, whether it looks kind of weird with the stars. I don't always like to mix this kind of like circular element with a star element, or yeah, if that makes sense. But I think it looks good on this layout, so let me know what you think anyway in the comments. So that is all done. I just scattered them around randomly really. And now I'm coming in and thinking about other embellishments. And this was a little bit of a struggle because, like I said, most of the stuff that I have from this collection it's very garden themed, lots of leaves and flowers and things like that. There are a few nautical elements, but nothing that I really felt would work. So what I do is end up bringing in a few of those word banners. I use a few of the butterflies because I feel like that makes sense on this layout. I'm also going to use some of these cute little birds. I'm going to perch them on top of the sail and the mast there. I love that. I love them. I feel like that little green bird looks quite like a seagull as well, so I'm really pleased with how that looks. I've added that little discover banner and another butterfly, and I am going to tuck a couple of feathers behind the side of my photo here. I felt like they made sense because I do have some birds on the layout. I'm still not 100% sold on those feathers, but I'm just going to leave it. I'm happy enough with that. I love how this banner looks though. I took this off the page on a whim, not thinking that it would fit well, but it actually really reminds me of a rigging on a ship, so I'm really pleased with how that looks draped across my sails, and it helps to connect my photo at the top there as well. Just going through, this is going to be the last thing I add, I think, so I'm just going to cut out one of these little kind of like wood plank phrases to tuck below my discover banner. I just felt like that needed a little extra something below there. And that will be my layout done. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope you enjoyed this one. I'm really pleased with how it turned out. Not really in my comfort zone, quite a bit different for me, but I'm really pleased with it. I'll leave the link to the COAPA Cutfiles Etsy shop and this cut file in the description box below. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.